Oh, wow. A Team USA photo from 2008. Look at my man Kobe. Rest in peace to Kobe. They got Melo in here, LeBron, Carlos Boozer, Chris Bosh, Tayshaun Prince, and Dwight. I'm sure that's primetime Dwight. And Coach K is the coach? Okay. Wait a minute. Let's look at the shoes. Okay, from right to left. Let's see if we can guess the shoe brand. I'm cheating a little bit. I know that's Chris Paul, so that's Jordan. Nike. D-Wade was using Converse at the time. Not really a Nike competitor. Nike, Nike, Nike. Those are the Jordan Mellows. So another branch of Nike. Nike, 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 Nike. That seems odd. His shoes are being covered. Coach K is covering his shoes, so we can't see the shoe brand. Who is this? Dwight Howard. Why they do my man Dwight like that? I wonder if that's on purpose. Yep. We're meeting in the middle. We're meeting in the middle. We're meeting in the middle of nowhere. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Meeting in the Middle of Nowhere podcast. I'm your host, El Creme, and I'm happy to be joining you guys again today. Now, for today's episode, I thought it would be fitting for me, to wear my Nike t-shirt today. Today's episode is about USA basketball and Nike. Now, we just came off seeing a Lithuania team that has one player in the NBA defeat USA. We've also just seen USA get defeated, sent home packing by Germany in the FIBA World Cup. Now, Noah Lyles, who came out a few weeks ago and was doubting the claim that US sports athletes should be called world champions when they win, is smiling. His liking posts everywhere on Twitter of people making claims about the US basketball team. Now, everybody is wondering what is going on with the USA basketball team. If you look at the team that they put out there, it's left everyone scratching their head. So we're wondering, wait, the US has a better talent pool. Is this really the best we had to offer for this tournament? Or are there politics or other things involved? Because recently I was watching Gilbert Arenas on the Gil's Arena podcast, and he had said this.
It's that sorry-ass other brand. It's that other brand.
The other man is...
It's that other brand, man. They be doing too motherfucking much.
Right, if Anthony Edwards is the best players coming off the bench because he got on Adidas.
So when I heard that, I was like, really? There's no way. Would the U.S. really sacrifice championships for corporate politics? But then I realized this happened a few years ago, or should I say decades ago.
It's 1996, Atlanta Olympics.
Away, Johnson got a great start. Already up on Garcia, Fredrickson, Bolden out. Michael, look at this, he's streaking away. Magnificent running. Look at the time. Unbelievable.
With that world record race, Michael Johnson became the only man in history to win both the 400 and 200 meter in the same Olympics. Each time wearing a pair of gold-colored spikes specifically made for him by Nike. Pictures of Johnson running the race with his legendary golden shoes went around the world. Johnson was the fastest man on earth. Not only did millions of TV viewers see those Nike shoes on their screens, millions also saw those same shoes slung around Johnson's neck a few days later on the cover of Time magazine. It's hard to imagine better marketing for any Olympic sponsor. Only problem, Nike was not an Olympic sponsor. Reebok was. But when people were asked who was an official Olympic partner, more people picked Nike than Reebok. Reebok had paid millions of dollars to be the official Olympic partner, but consumers only remembered their competitor. Sounds like a bad deal. So Reebok ended their sponsorship with the Olympics, and the Olympics started to take actions against Nike and other companies that were using the games for marketing without paying for it.
Nike wasn't the victim this time. Reebok was, and Nike was the winner. So it has me thinking, right? After watching this video, it got me thinking, maybe Nike learned a lesson. Maybe what happened to Reebok taught them the lesson that they don't want to learn for themselves. So they're making sure that the players that make it on this team, because we know with social media now it's very easy. With some of these pictures, a viral dunk, you know, with an athlete wearing the wrong shoe or a game-winning shot, Stephen Curry shooting a game-winning shot and it's Under Armour's. Hey, that could damage the reputation of Nike in U.S. basketball. So it got me thinking, will these people really sacrifice world championships, real world championships, for the sake of, you know, sports branding, politics, sponsorship reasons, and things like that? Okay, so I want.
Nah, real talk though. Why is the USA basketball team so bad? How are guys like Austin Reeves and Bobby Portis, who probably aren't top 100 players, representing USA on an international stage? Surely USA can put together a better team than this. Surely some of the stars want to play. Well, yes, some of them actually do. I'll tell you one right now. LaMelo Ball.
I want to make the Olympic team to represent my country. I want to bring that gold medal back home to my country so they can enjoy something through all this pandemic, these times, and all this stuff. I want to be able to say, hey, this is not my medal. This is for y'all.
LaMelo Ball is 21 years old, was Rookie of the Year, an All-Star as a sophomore, and in year 3 was injured a lot. Guess what? He still averaged a career high in points and assists. Trae Young is 24 years old, is a 2-time All-Star All-NBA player. There is not a single player on the USA World Cup roster that is more established in the NBA than Trae Young. None of them are multiple-time All-Stars, none of them have made an All-NBA team. But this isn't the first time Trae Young has been snubbed, it has happened already.
What do you think you have left to do, left to prove in order to crack that roster?
To be honest, I don't know. Obviously, I was kind of hurt that I didn't make the 44 players.
In February of 2020, Team USA selected 44 players to represent Team USA at the Tokyo Olympics. Only 12 of the 44 get selected. Trae Young wasn't only not selected for the 12 that went to Tokyo, he wasn't one of the 44 players chosen to even make the cut. That season, Trae Young had averaged 29.6 points and 9.3 assists in the NBA. He didn't make the top 44. Just look at the list. The Tokyo Olympics were actually pushed back to summer 2021 because of COVID, and in year 3, Trae Young was even better. He led the Hawks to the conference finals. It didn't matter, he was snubbed again, and took to Twitter to post this famous Isaiah Thomas quote from The Last Dance.
I don't know what went into that process. I met the criteria to be selected.
I definitely want to. It's up to them if they want me to. I mean, I would love to play with guys and show off my passing even more and not have to go out and score a lot and just be there if they need me to. So, I mean, I'd be happy to, obviously. I'd love to play. But
So here is the question of the video. Why are Trae Young and LaMelo Ball being snubbed? What do these two players have in common? Trae Young is an Adidas athlete with a signature shoe. LaMelo Ball is a Puma athlete with a signature shoe. Team USA is sponsored by what brand? Nike. Gilbert Arenas? Tell them how it is.
If you take the politics out of USA basketball, then the stars will play.
Yeah.
Nike's going to only want Nike players.
This is corny.
Right? They're not going to want to see, they're not going to want to promote Steph Curry's shoe. Because the shoe kids got to wear their shoes. They're not going to promote the Pumas. Why LaMelo Ball is not on there? You know, Puma's not going to want to, they're not going to be interested, you know, so LaMelo's not going to want to be, even though he wants to play on the team, right?
So Gilbert Arenas was a 3-time All-Star and All-NBA player. He averaged 29 points per game in 2006. He wasn't selected for the final USA team, despite famously cooking Braun, Melo and Wade in scrimmages and predicting their shortcomings in 2006. Gilbert Arenas had a signature shoe with Adidas, and according to him, Team USA is almost exclusively for Nike athletes, because they don't want to promote a rival shoe on an international stage. So this is what we're going to do. we're going to go through every player on this USA roster and find out whether this is fact or theory. Anthony Edwards, Adidas. Jalen Brunson, Nike. Tyrese Halliburton, Nike. Mikal Bridges, Nike. Josh Hart, Nike. Brandon Ingram, Nike. Jaren Jackson Jr., Nike. Cam Johnson, Nike. Bobby Portis, Nike. 8 out of 12 players wear Nike. Paolo Banchero wears Jordan, an extension of Nike. So that's essentially 9 out of 12. Of the 12 players, there's no Puma, no Under Armour, and only 2 Adidas representatives. Who are the exceptions? Austin Reeves. He wears Renija. Not exactly a major competitor of Nike. He's also a white guy that, let's be serious, is only there to appeal to a certain demographic. Walker Kessler, let's be honest, is only there to appeal to the same demographic as Reeves. And of course, Anthony Edwards. Now, Ant-Man is interesting. I know a lot of people are thinking, DKM, if Ant wears Adidas and is on Team USA, what's stopping them from picking Trae Young? Let's take a look at the top 5 players that wear Adidas in the NBA. Only one of them doesn't have a signature shoe. Can you guess who it is? Yeah, it's Anthony Edwards. Who would you say is the best player on this Team USA roster? I'm guessing some of you will also say Anthony Edwards. So why was the best player originally left out of the starting lineup until they started losing to the select team with number 52 and needed to make a change in order to avoid an inevitable international embarrassment? After looking at 4 USA squads from 2016 to 2013, 48 total players, 38 wore Jordan or Nike. But we can't base this off of just one USA team, because it could just be coincidence. Nike, after all, are the most popular sportswear brand. Why don't we take a look at other Team USA squads from the last decade and find out if this is really fact or theory? The 2021 Olympic squad, of 12 players, 9 of them wore Nike or Jordan, meaning 3 players wore other brands. There was no Puma, no Under Armour, but there was 2 Adidas, Zach LaVine and Dame Lillard. Jeremy Grant and Keldon Johnson have since signed shoe deals with other brands and coincidentally haven't been called up to represent USA since. In the 2019 FIBA World Cup, out of 12 players, 10 of them wore Nike and Jordan, the exceptions being Donovan Mitchell and Marcus Smart. In the 2016 Olympic squad, out of 12 players, 10 of the 12 wore Nike and Jordan, the exceptions being Kyle Lowry and Klay Thompson. Lowry was Adidas, Klay was Anta. Again, not exactly a major rival of Nike. So after looking at 4 USA squads from 2016 to 2023, including 48 total players, 39 players wore Jordan and Nike. Dame Lillard, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Kyle Lowry and Walker Kessler wore Adidas. Klay wore Anta, Reeves wore whatever that is, and Marcus Smart is Puma. In percentages, that means 12.5% wore Adidas, 2% wore Puma, 6.3% wore other brands, and a majority, 79.2%, wore Nike or Jordan. See this photo of Team USA from the 2016 Olympics. Notice how the 3 players I mentioned, none of their shoes are visible in the team photo, while every Nike player is on display. Have any of you watched the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix, starring Kobe, LeBron, D-Wade, Carmelo? Do you know who wasn't featured much in the documentary, but was equally as vital to Team USA's success in Beijing? Dwight Howard. At the time, the best big man in basketball, first team All-NBA who finished 5th in MVP voting. In the entire documentary, Dwight Howard had just 10 seconds of screen time. Any guesses to why that is? Take a look at this photo. Every single USA player is wearing a Nike-owned shoe except one. Dwight Howard, who's with Adidas. Now tell me why Coach K is sitting right in front of Dwight of all people, covering the only pair of Adidas shoes in the room. If you're not convinced by now, I don't know what to tell you. I can't lie, Gilbert Arenas' claim is looking pretty valid. It is no coincidence that Nike sponsor Team USA and Team USA features almost exclusively Nike athletes. There are exceptions, and have been in the past. But generally speaking, it seems as if the only time a non-Nike representative is going to be selected is if they are a major NBA superstar, best player in their position type of thing, like Dwight, Harden, Curry, Dame, or if you're a filler body there to add some diversity to the squad and appeal to white America. The main thing I think Nike don't want is the star of USA basketball wearing another shoe. And that's why you won't see Trae Young or LaMelo Ball selected, because both of those guys have the potential to be the best player on Team USA, especially this squad. Trae Young and LaMelo Ball would be two of, if not the best two players, depending on who you ask. What you really don't want if you're Nike is the standout player wearing a different shoe that stands out even more because everyone else is wearing Nikes. Part of the reason Air Jordan was so successful was while everyone was wearing white Converse, Michael Jordan was wearing black and red Nikes, dominating on the court and standing out while doing so. Could you imagine LaMelo Ball dominating the World Cup in the brightest pair of basketball shoes ever seen to man? You'd have Puma shoes flying off the shelves on an international level. Of course, if they can avoid that happening, they're gonna do so. Evidently, it is in the best interests of Nike to use their influence as sponsors of Team USA to limit competitive brands' exposure on the global stage, while exclusively promoting their own brand and shoes instead.
Who are Nike's biggest competitors? We have Adidas, Puma, Under Armour. Used to be Reebok, but not so much so in basketball. It seems as if, the second closest person will be Adidas. And it seems as if they seem to, add 2 spots for Adidas so they can avoid some type of litigation, or so people can't sue them or say, oh, there are no non-Nike athletes on the USA basketball team. So they bring in 2 Adidas people each time to be like, oh, no, we have some Adidas. But then they put them on the bench. There's another thing I'm wondering. I know the best players don't want to play because maybe they want to concentrate on the NBA season or for whatever reasons, But you would think, being that you're sponsoring the U.S. basketball team, you would want the team to win. You know what I mean? You try to put team first, before your, corporate agenda. Isn't that what you would think? I'm sponsoring USA basketball team, so okay. Let's make sure we can get a good USA basketball team so they can win. We still got the Nike swoosh on our shirts. And then we'll focus on the shoes later, So let's try to make it a little even. It is nowhere close. They're leaving about 4 to 5 spots open out of 44 to other non-Nike athletes, other competitors. I don't think that's a coincidence. Now you guys done lost in a major tournament. You guys were supposed to win. Is something gonna change? Should something change? What do you guys think? Let me know, because this seems like a concentrated effort, to keep Nike. But then again, we've seen what happened earlier with the Olympics, right? Again, maybe they might be trying to prevent that. Another point to point out, even when we go back to this 2008 Olympic picture with Dwight Howard in the front, Dwight Howard is strategically standing in a way where his arm conveniently hides the Nike sign on his shorts. So if you look at everybody else in the photo, you can see the Nike sign on their shorts. But when it comes to Dwight Howard, he's holding the ball and the hand is conveniently hiding the Nike sign. So there's definitely some kind of politics going behind this. But to the extent that it will prevent you guys from winning, that is crazy. We have Europeans out here busting out you-know-whats, and they're about to take over the league. It's looking like they're about to take over the league. If you try to make a top 5, top 10 NBA players right now, at least half of them are foreigners, if not more. This should be the time where we're taking international competition serious, to let these guys know we're not giving them any chance to catch up. If they catch up, that's cool, but it ain't because we let them, and we out here playing sports brand politics. How? I know they mentioned Trae Young and LaMelo Ball, but I'm sure there are plenty other good ones out there. There are plenty other players. You guys let me know what you guys think. Is it right? Would you guys do the same? Should they do it? Or do you think there should be a way where, they at least come to some kind of, some kind of number. And a minimum number of players at least. That's what I mean. And if you got to do it across the board, when it's your turn, when you're sponsoring another championship, let's say you're sponsoring, tennis or cricket, I need a minimum number of my players in there too. Because it's getting ridiculous. They doing photo op games instead of winning. You know an interesting thing? We lost to Lithuania. LaMelo Ball played in Lithuania. You would think this is somebody, since he has some European experience and he really, really wants to play for the team, they will bring him on. But nope, because of Puma, y'all won't let the kid play. And another way, that's an incentive, you know, to make you want to switch brand. You never won a gold medal, you really want to win a gold medal, man. The minute you get to some little dispute, you know, with the brand that sponsors you, hey, man, I'm going to Nike. I want to play for the Olympics team anyway. Is this right? I don't know. How do the competitors feel when because I don't think they worried about, some of them might be sponsored by Nike too, right? But I don't think the teams are big enough to garner the kind of attention that cause, you know, multiple people or the kind of reaction that happened in the Olympics when Reebok decided to stop sponsoring the Olympics. But I think they're going in there thinking, yeah, we about to beat USA. It don't matter who they put on this court, we that good. Or do you guys think they're going in there? Well, you have to be, right? LeBron is not out there. Steph is not out. But still, you only play what's in front of you. And we got our asses sent home by Germany. Can't even name a single player on the German team, man. Can any of you guys name an NBA player playing for Germany? What is it, Bonga? Something like that. There's still no excuse. There's still no excuse for why we lost to Germany. I'm not, you know, again, nah, but you see the shit show we put out there?